happening, everybody? We got Justin in the house today.
Hello. What's up, guys?
Justin?
How's it going?
Who is Justin?
The man.
The man
is
behind the
building?
delicious beer. Oh my God, I have some. I'm gonna make my kids bring me one right now.
You're gonna drink one of those beers right now?
Heck yeah. Well,
I
it's a
think-
seltzer. It's really good.
The seltzer.
Oh, you make seltzers too?
Yeah. Actually, we're kind of gonna make this an off-brand also. So we make sour beer, we make all types of beers, but we're gonna be doing a lot of seltzer because that shit sells well. So
Yeah, it's definitely the thing right now. And in fact, I'm drinking one right now as well. I mean, I don't really want to advertise it too much, but I'm also, man, it seems like everybody's kind of trying to get on the seltzer hype right now. Do you think it'll last? Do you think that people are going to want seltzer 10 years from now?
I'm not sure where the market's gonna go, and it's funny because my business partner is like not against the idea of starting a seltzer company because it's going to be a separate brand for us. He seems to think that it's not, but all the numbers and all the projections dictate that in the next 5 years at least, we're going to have probably a 2 to 3x increase in seltzer production sales across the board. So this is kind of one of those, the low calorie stuff. The more people kind of realize beer just makes you fat, and it's fucking hard to drink beer all the time. The more seltzers are getting, super popular nowadays. So
it's definitely super healthy. I mean, I feel healthier when I drink it, and like you said,
It's not
man,
a fucking green smoothie. He's all.
it's not a green
It's
smoothie.
super healthy.
I didn't mean
healthy.
it like that.
Healthy might be a stretch. But there's still alcohol, which is sugar. But
It can't be
the
too
hangover
much of a stretch if it's only like 100 calories, though, right? Because isn't
Right.
like the calories what make people fat?
For sure, but alcohol is sugar. Alcohol will turn into sugar in your body, so it's the sugar that'll get you. But still, much less than other stuff. Ours is 7% though, so
Is it
Oh,
higher.
that's interesting. That's
7%? Oh,
It's
you're trying to get
typical
people
seltzer.
drunk, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm not going after this like the seltzer game is all 4 or 5%. I'm not trying to do that. We're trying to make it big.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not trying to sell us water.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna have to
I'm
definitely
I'm trying to get my
come
kids
and try
to
that
bring me
seltzer.
one right now. Literally, like they're
For
like,
sure.
I'm like,
You
"Give
got
me
one. You
can."
got one coming to your pod area right now, Stella.
Fuck yeah, I do.
I'm kind of
This is
jelly.
the
I'm kind of
stuff
jelly.
right here.
Oh snap!
It's-
The super salsa pink guava.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most people
Yeah,
say
yeah.
guava. I call it guayaba. Still, I don't know
Guava,
why.
is that like the actual way to say it?
No, well, maybe it's just the Spanish way.
I was gonna. That
I
can't
still
be
say
right.
mango, so I don't say mango. I say mango. So it's just how I
Dude.
was raised to talk. Sorry, my bad.
So I want to know, like, is the process of making seltzer like 10 times easier than the process of making beer? Because the process of making beer has got to be the most complicated process of all time.
Okay. Number one, it's not. It's not fucking easy. It takes a long time to learn. But like I was just sitting down with my buddy who's basically a microbiologist for McKellar Brewing Company down in San Diego. That shit's fucking difficult. What he does is difficult, but beer is not that bad. But yeah, seltzer is definitely like 10 times easier. I mean, literally my brew day for a regular beer, we're talking 8 hours, from start to finish with cleanup. Seltzer I can knock out in three hours. That's not fermentation time. That's just the actual day of. But yeah, once you get it locked in and dialed in, which, took us a couple batches, but now it's easy for us. So
How long does it take from like start to finish to like start a beer and then by the time you release it?
yeah, so like I said, brew day, 8 hours. And then from there, you're putting it into a fermenter. It's going to be in there for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, depending on alcohol. So the higher the alcohol, the longer it's going to take to get through all those sugars. And so you're looking at like maybe 3 to 5 weeks, depending on what you're making. But we do barrel aged sour beer, and that we'll leave them in barrels for 12 to 18 months.
Oh wow.
Before we pour them. Yeah, so it's a little bit different of a
Incredible.
process. Yeah, it takes a long fucking time. It's probably a dumb business decision to do that, but
Yeah, dude, it's so
whatever.
like If there's any time to be a micro brewer, like it's right now, you know, like.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it's like there's a lot of opportunity right now. With everything that kind of went down, when things go down, opportunities are going to present themselves. So there's all types of stuff closing down, and kind of just the market was in a little bit of a weird phase. So we kind of realized that, and now this is where we're going to try to make our push as a business in general. So still saturated though, still a lot of breweries out there.
There's a lot.
I feel like you got to have like a real passion for making beer to actually get in that business because of how much time it takes and everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So I was homebrewing for 4 or 5 years and trying to just get a job in the industry, but like this industry fucking sucks. It's so hard. Like the work is so hard. It's like a young man's game for sure, or somebody who at least stays in physical shape because you're hucking 55-pound sacks around. You're lifting kegs that are super heavy. The pay sucks. That's honestly why I wanted to start the brewery, because I was like, I wanted to start a brewery before I even started working in a brewery, but I just knew there was no longevity to me being a brewer forever. So yeah, you have to have passion, and it's very difficult. So
you're good at what you do. I literally haven't tasted one beer that I didn't like.
Thanks, Estela.
And I'm not just saying that. Like I'm literally a beer brat. And I've tried some sours of yours before. I think I've tried a stout, and that shit is delicious. Like really good. Like you are talented. You do what you do well.
I appreciate it.
I'm a fan.
I appreciate that. Been doing it for 9 years now professionally. So it's, takes a while.
That's super dope. Hey man, so I grew up in the city. I don't know if you heard of Fairfield, California before, but in Fairfield, California, that's where Anheuser-Busch is, and it's one of the main factories that they have, right? And so in this city, you could smell the hops in the air for like miles away, and a lot of people hate the smell. Right? I actually grew to love the smell, and when I smell it, I'm just like. It's just one of those things. Yeah. You probably feel the same, right? Like when you smell the hops, just like, cooking or whatever process they go through, you probably love that smell, huh? Like almost like an addiction, huh?
100%. Yeah. Actually, I remember I was walking down the street. This was, I don't know, 10 plus years ago with my ex, and we were walking through Denver, and I just remember that fucking smell, the same smell that I would smell during home brews. And we were, 2 blocks away from this brewery, and I'm like, oh, let's go there. But every time we mash in, which is, you're basically making a big cereal, there's a smell to it. Every time you add the hops, when I come in the next day, I can smell the fermentation as soon as I walk into the building. It's all, it's going to be nostalgia someday. Right now, it's awesome. It's a good experience for sure.
Do you think that like everybody has like the same like kind of like process in making beer, like the same like typical process, just everybody like does different ingredients obviously and things of that sort, a little bit more of one thing more than the other, or is there like a typical process that most people follow?
There's definitely a typical process that most people follow. We can go into a couple different things here, but yeah, so pretty much we all have the same process when it comes to making beer, because there really is, scientifically, there's only one way to extract the sugars from the malt, and you have to boil it to kill off the bad bacteria and wild yeast and everything. So generally it's all the same, but it also comes down to what equipment you have. Honestly, this is why homebrew tastes like shit. Everybody brings me homebrew. Not that I'm saying don't bring me homebrew, by the way. You want to bring me homebrew, fine. Just be prepared for me to be somewhat brutally honest. Most people are cool with that. Know in advance, and sometimes I do get brought good homebrew, but when you have the equipment as a professional brewer, and there's levels to it, like at my scale, and I'm coming from a much larger brewery to a small brewery, and I don't have all the toys that, you know, that I kind of want. So yeah, it's technique, which is pretty much the same across the board. It's what equipment you have that makes the biggest difference. And like the big boys, you know, it's like around here, around San Diego, Stone, Lost Abbey, St. Archer, you know, Ballast Point. These guys have ridiculous equipment, and it makes your life a lot easier. So that's the difference. Nowadays, though, so the other part of this is people have been fucking beer up for the past 5 years and starting to add, you know, candy bars and lollipops and making them taste just like straight fruit puree and really taking kind of the soul away from beer. Right. Like I'm cool with making a seltzer, but I'm not going to give you something that literally tastes like a Jamba Juice and has 4% alcohol and call it a beer. So that's kind of, you know, that's kind of where people have been differentiating their brewing lately, and I'm not a big fan of it. So
that's good. So, I feel like people will appreciate that. Go ahead, Stella.
Is that like ciders, or are you referring more to like Corona Refrescas, which aren't seltzers or beers? It's just basically like a soda.
No. This is all in like the craft beer game now. Oh. So a lot of smaller breweries, and it's exploding. So we're kind of dumbing down the market a little bit. I don't want to get too technical on this stuff, but I'm happy to go as deep into it as you guys want. But people have been producing these, what they would call, so like typically you're going to go through your fermentation, you're going to put it into a packaging tank, you're going to carbonate it so it's nice and, you know, effervescent, you got those bubbles on there, and then you're going to package it. People are going all the way to that end process, and right before they package, they throw in 1,000 pounds of fruit puree, and it's unfermented, so it's just pure fucking sugar. It pours like a Jamba Juice. You know, as you drink it, it looks like there's juice going down the sides, and that's just not beer. So you guys honestly probably haven't heard of it, but it's a big thing around the craft beer industry that a lot of my friends in the industry are hating on. So
I'm gonna keep a lookout now.
So that sounds like a tough industry, man. I love just being a fan of beer, and I could only imagine what it would be like to actually be in the industry, because like enjoying like your typical, like your buddy making some home brew or whatever and come bringing it to you, you're like, oh dude, and then you start like criticizing it, right? Like there was probably one point though when one of your buddies would bring a home brew and you're like, oh dang dude, now you're like,
oh yeah
bro.
For sure. No, 100%. And that's the problem with being in the industry is you kind of get jaded, understanding the inner workings of everything and like kind of seeing and being like, that's bullshit. You know, I don't like how I don't like certain things about the industry. I love this industry though. It's super cool, but there's a lot of stuff that, you know, the typical beer drinker isn't going to really understand. But overall, I love the industry in general.
What would Justin, 10 years deep in the industry, tell Justin just starting off in the industry?
Quit. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I don't think if I had another choice, the only thing I would say is get your shit together sooner, because that was, you know, that gave me like the kind of middle when I was, you know, actually like I'll be fully upfront with you guys. I was going through divorce. Everything was kind of fucking shitty in my life. I'm drinking a whole bunch, just not being super healthy. The one good thing is like I really did pour myself into the beer side of it. But as far as like my aspirations to start the business, that kind of went by the wayside. So get your shit together sooner. Stop fucking around, you know, don't waste 5 years. Just kind of, not that I could have done it too much sooner anyways, but you know, keep your head on straight.
So is there like a certain like goal like a microbrewery has? Like obviously like you want to get bigger, right? Or like do you like being the microbrewery in SD? Like obviously probably like, I mean, I don't know, like is it like if you make a beer, like you hope like one of the beers just like goes like absolutely viral? Yeah, like a hit almost, you know what I'm saying? Like
right. Okay. I mean, that's a little bit, that's a little,
like world domination?
Yep. That's a little bit of a loaded question, even if you didn't kind of intend it that way. But so yes, I would love. We definitely want to get bigger, and a lot of that is, I know as you grow and get bigger, everything gets easier for me. So as we get more employees, you know, I have less tasks. As we get larger fermenters and we're just pushing more beer out, I get the economy of scale and we're making bigger margins. As we sign on with distribution partners, I don't have to do sales and distribution personally or hire a salesperson. And that just makes that process easier. I mean, my fucking goal, I want to be sitting on the beach in Hawaii in 10 years, you know, like maybe, I don't know where the business will take us then. Right. But yeah, so I want to get big. I want to get bigger for sure. But 10 years ago, I would have been completely content starting this brewery and staying small because I thought that was niche and fun and cool and like we'll be the cool kids on the block. Reality kind of set in and you're like, oh no, I've got bigger goals for this brand. So that being said, though, I do kind of like the gap in between. So I'm from a restaurant background. Our goal is actually to start a brew pub. We've been messing around with the food for the past year or so. Basically, when COVID required breweries to get food, we started a catering company on the side. And I kind of always had this in the back of my head that we would turn this into a restaurant concept from the beginning. And I like that concept because it allows us, you know, you have 16 taps or whatever. That allows me to do smaller batches and throw it on tap and just see what people think. I don't have to do a giant batch and throw it into you know, 500, you know, cases of cans and hope we can sell it to a distributor. I can do one-off things and be a little more, you know, have a little more fun. It's fucking boring. Like my brother has done a lot more production brewing. My little brother is going to be our head brewer at the new place. And he worked under me. He's worked at McKellar. He now works for Mason Ale Works in San Marcos. And McKellar at Mason Ale Works, very production forward. And that shit is boring. Like you're literally brewing the same beer all the time. You're doing the same thing.
Not a lot of room for creativity.
No. I want to bridge that gap, have more fun, but still be able to make some money as well.
See, everybody, take it from an entrepreneur like Justin. When things like pandemics happen, you get creative and you start digging deep into that bag and then you figure it out. See?
100%. That's why
playing with that.
We had to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just
I was going to say we had to. We absolutely had to. I mean, we would have been so fucked. And like we ran out of money completely. I, you know, put like not the last of my money, but I put 10 grand into the company after I'd already sunk a shit ton of money into it. Wasn't expecting this to happen. You know, we were just getting on a roll. I'm expecting to start fucking putting money away for myself and like, all right, we'll get to the next. We had to do it. So
right. You had to keep the doors open, man.
I'm so glad y'all survived though, because I was like, the beer is good. Like I said, I've not tasted one beer from you that I didn't like. But I love the vibe of the little spot. Like, it's so cute. It's like, it's very like, I don't know, like San Marcos isn't a huge place, but it's not a small place either. But like Stave makes it feel kind of like your little local hometown brewery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot in that little area, but like, I don't know. Yours is different.
Why do I feel like if you want to like, all right, so if you want to be like a brewery who makes it big, I feel like you got to go to SD damn near to make it happen. Kind of like if you want to be like a movie star or a singer or something, you go to LA. Like, is it just me or is it kind of like San Diego is like the hub of all of the best beer and the future best beer and the biggest companies?
Hey man, I'm not saying other cities are not as good as us, but San Diego is pretty much the fucking shit. I mean, there's a lot of really good, you know, beer cities. So Denver, Portland, Oregon now has been just amazing. Florida is starting to come up a lot, like around Tampa area. Obviously, you know, Belgium, Germany, all those, all those old world brewing styles. Like you have to respect that shit. But San Diego kind of became the innovator of, like the West Coast IPA, for instance. And for a long time, we were at the top. Now, I mean, we're probably close to even with maybe Denver and some of these other areas. But yeah, San Diego, it's awesome. It's also hard because there's so many breweries. Just is what it is.
What's your personal favorite beer that you make?
Oh, dude. Right now, the seltzer. I don't know. Honestly, it changes so much. I really love doing, I'll just give you styles instead. So like a good bourbon barrel aged imperial stout. So a big like 12, 13%er. You get that really nice bourbon character, the beautiful oak character, a little bit of tannin from the oak. Those beers can just be so beautiful after 14, 16 months in the barrel. Our specialty though, and like why I started this company was barrel aged sour beer, and by that I mean we're actually putting in souring bacteria and wild yeast. And I know that might sound weird, but like that's what's in your yogurt.
Stay away from it now. No, I'm playing.
No, don't do it. It's super good. I mean, that's what's in your yogurt. That's what's in your kombucha. These are live, living things. We don't
call it active culture. What do they call it? Something like that.
I mean, we call it a mixed culture.
Okay.
In kombucha, it's called a SCOBY, a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. So there's a bunch of different things. But yeah, that's probably at my heart. Sour beer is just the thing that we do. But we've made, in a year and a half, we've done damn near 100 different beers. We're just, we just fucking flip them constantly.
See, everybody, another reason why beer is actually healthy for you. My dad used to have a shirt that said, "Beer is actual proof that God loves us."
Yep, I have that sign. I have that sign hanging up at my house.
That's funny.
Man, that's awesome. So I got a question. Since you said this, your stout was one of your favorite to make. What does stout go good with? Because I've always wondered that. And it's one of the reasons why I drink it very so often, because I don't know, like, what am I going to have to eat with it? Like, I'm one of those guys, like that kind of dictates what kind of beer I want to get. For
sure. Yeah. I mean, 100%, that's like a dessert thing, but that's what I'd say first. So make yourself a real beer float with a big imperial stout. That's fucking delicious. Other than that, maybe like savory meats, stuff that kind of matches the intensity. Something salted, like a salted caramel pudding or something would go super nice because the salinity kind of balances everything out. But honestly, doing beer pairings is super fun because things that you would never think would work together can totally work. So,
I never thought about that. I wonder what
that process is like. That sounds like the fun part of the game. Like,
right,
you get to like sit down and taste beers and eat stuff with it, like just to see how it goes.
Yeah, we've done it several times.
Recommend.
Yep. I've probably done 5 or 6 different beer and food pairings. It's actually hard to do because you have to make the whole dish, and your palate gets fucked up after doing, if you have like a 6-course thing you're trying to do, you can't knock all those 6 courses out in a day.
Yeah.
You gotta so tasting beer can actually, it sounds really fucking fun, but like that's why you wait till the end of the day to taste your barrel aged beers, your bourbon barrel aged beers, because like barrel 7, you're already a little drunk. Everything seems like so fun at barrel 7. You're like, hell yeah. But in reality, you're drunk and not really doing a good job.
Really, yeah. Those are my favorite.
I guess judgment is a little different when you've been drinking a whole bunch.
Everything's good at that point, right?
Yep. It's all about your palate too. So,
have you ever been to Oktoberfest?
No, I want to so bad.
That's got to be a trip you make happen, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oktoberfest is on my bucket list. I'm actually planning a trip with my buddy Amir in 2023. So We're gonna make it happen. It's coming. Just gotta wait till I get this next
get the
part.
Outfits?
No, maybe like the lederhosen. I don't.
Are you gonna drink from a boot?
Yeah, it's a little tight on the gonads. Be shown way too much.
Dude, that I don't.
Skirt.
I don't know. I don't know why, Estela, but when you said drink from a boot, it made me think of this one time we were clowning my boy because his first time in Vegas, he ended up at some like Irish pub. And he I don't know how this happened, but he got so drunk. He ended up on a table and a midget took a shot of beer or something like that out of his belly button. It's like the weirdest thing that I could have ever possibly heard.
Oh my God. I can't. Somebody say something else, please. I'm gonna throw up. Oh my God.
I just think that's hilarious. I don't know. I'm not even grossed out. That sounds like
to me because I think belly button and like lint and like a lot of people don't clean their belly buttons right, and like he's a man, so it's probably hairy.
Hold on, Estela. I think you just busted yourself out. You got lint in your belly button? Hold on.
I don't have an innie, so no, I don't have lint in my belly button. But oh my God, that's disgusting.
Hey, he probably hit out. That's fine.
Ugh. I'm literally gonna throw up.
I see you got the Muhammad Ali and the Einstein in the background there. Is that your actual background or like your actual?
No. Yeah, I'm in my room right now. My homie Tony did these, gave them to me a few years back.
Is that like a symbol of like some of the people you look up to right there?
Yeah, a few. Yeah, for sure. 100%. I specifically, I mean, he gave me the Muhammad. I told him I wanted an Einstein. He's done a Hendrix for me. A few others, you know, a little Bob Marley, you know, stuff like that. But he's a tattoo artist now. He's fucking killer.
No, those are some badass photos in the back.
I asked a friend of mine like years ago to paint me like an abstract Einstein, but that never happened.
What's an abstract Einstein?
It's just so my friend's an abstract artist and I wanted an Einstein, but I wanted it like abstract. And I mean, I love artists, but they're some of the flakiest people in the world. So
Justin's over there feeling the same thing I'm feeling right now. Like we're like, okay, Estela.
it was not a great explanation of what abstract is.
Well, okay, so like Picasso, like that's abstract art.
You know, I know what abstract.
Yeah, he doesn't, but I know you know what I'm saying. But...
Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay.
Well, he didn't ask, so.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Vegas has a kind of a beer scene. They've been trying to break into the beer scene a little bit. That's the next spot you gotta bring one of your breweries out this way, man.
No, not going to Vegas. Number one, I'll tell you what.
All right.
People who are going to Vegas, not always going to get craft beer. And I don't want to. That's where I go to party. So. It's not a party if you do it every day. I don't want to ruin Vegas for myself. That's why I wouldn't start one in Havasu, you know.
What about Portland?
Maybe Portland. I like Cali. I hate Cali's fucking business laws, but I like California.
So when I lived in Oregon, and that's like, so I lived there for 7 years, and so I just moved back here almost 2 years ago. But like that's obviously I was like 27 when I moved there, and so that's when I'm starting to get into like I was introduced to microbrews, Ninkasi, like Deschutes, and like Hot Valley and those beers there. And at that time, like the time that I lived there, Portland was actually the microbrew capital of the world, like the Pacific Northwest. And so I became like a huge beer brat. Like one of my favorite beers is a stout, a nitro from Crux. Like that shit was delicious. Or the Abyss. Have you tried that one?
Of course, I fucking love the Abyss.
That's like that was like my favorite fucking beer. But stouts are hard. Like one stout, I'm just loopy. I can drink tequila all night long, but if you give me one stout, like that's it. Game over. I'm fucking drunk. Like
Are stouts that strong?
So different. It's different.
They can be. I mean, it's also they're so filling. It's hard to, that's why I can drink tequila all day, is because it's not that filling.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
I like Portland. It's got it. I remember I went for a craft brewers conference one year, and that was the year that they had the most breweries per capita in the city of Portland and the most strip clubs per capita. I was like super stoked on that. I was like, this is a fucking cool city, man.
Yeah.
I think we ended up hitting like 12 strip clubs or something on that trip.
Yeah,
it was
Portland's
dope.
pretty dope.
Sounds
Last time
like
I was in Portland,
invite,
I went to a strip club too. Me and my cousin Sonia, actually, we were up there just like kind of bar hopping, and then we ended up in a strip club, so that was fun.
Was it Sassy's?
I don't remember what it was called. We were on a good one.
That's awesome.
You're gonna say we were the dancers.
We were stumbling, oh, shit. We were stumbling through Portland, just like having a good old time.
Yeah, when we went for a craft brewers conference, they actually had I forget which company sponsored it, but they had one of the industry parties at Sassy's at this strip club, and I just remember eating this like T-bone steak, watching strippers. All these beer guys are around me. I'm just like, this is not horrible. Like, this is pretty cool.
The food at strip clubs has to be decent though, because I feel
always good.
Oftentimes
it doesn't happen.
Men go there like on their lunch break or whatever, like to go eat at a strip club. I mean, I know it's not just because there's going to be tits, right? Like, or am I just like giving you guys an excuse to do this?
No, man. One of the best steakhouses in Vegas is at a strip club, actually, believe it or not.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He's like, I've been there.
I've been there.
I haven't been there, but I think I've heard of this. I've heard of said strip club. Yeah, Sassy's actually has fucking fantastic steaks, but I don't think I think that might be the exception and not the rule. I don't think the lunch special at, at any of these San Diego strip clubs is probably very good. Don't get the wings, maybe.
Yeah. San Diego strip clubs got to step
Pacers.
it up.
Find me at Pacers tonight. Went straight to Pacers.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, man, you end up at the steakhouse strip club in Vegas by accident because one of those guys on the strip flicking the cards was like, here. You get there for free limo. You're like, all right, fuck it. And you end up eating like a bomb steak, like, oops. And then you get titties in your face. The only rule my wife has for me is no motorboating. And I find it hard because I'm a fisherman. No, I'm playing. I don't know where that came from. Excuse me.
He's just funny on the fly over there. That's too
much. So what are the cities? If you had to invade some other cities, where would you go with your brewery?
Up the coast, probably up into LA, work my way up that way. I like beach cities now. I've kind of been drawn more towards that. So our next move is actually a coastal city in San Diego. And then we would probably branch that out, go down south towards San Diego, and then go up north towards San Clemente and up into LA, Orange County. I'd love to start a brewery in Hawaii at some point. That was like my goal 15 years ago. It was thinking I was going to move out there. I was trying to get a job at Maui for a long time, Maui Brewing. So who knows? Although I think Hawaii is probably more expensive than California, so that sucks.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Hawaii is nuts.
Hawaii is really expensive.
Yeah. I feel like people get that island fever thing has got to be real. Like I feel like we would freak out, like especially like people from California. Like you could just drive so far and just get out of the way, and then when you're in a place like Hawaii, like you could get to the other side in like 30 minutes and you'll probably feel trapped.
Yeah. Or like I can go snowboarding, I can drive to the desert. I can do a bunch of like different shit. Hawaii, you're kind of stuck with the same shit all the time, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to visit there, but I don't think I could live there because I'm a claustrophobic person and the idea of being in this little spot surrounded by water and I can't go anywhere unless it's on a plane or a boat. That freaks me out.
Yeah, sorry.
Freaks me out just a little bit.
I want to know who invented beer runs. You ever heard of the beer run? Like when you do like a marathon, or maybe not a marathon, but like a 5K or whatever, and then at the end, or do you drink
okay.
beer like during the beer run?
Okay, I thought you were talking about going in and stealing beer.
Yeah.
Because that's
pretty
what
sure
a beer
Oh
run
I'm sure
shit!
that's like teenagers and broke people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my little brother's done a few of those, I think.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I do know of a beer run. I've done one, but it was only a
How do they
mile.
work? Because I've actually never done a beer run.
We did it around a brewery down in Mira Mesa. So it was a quarter mile around this whole brewery and another building. And then we just you drink a beer, run a quarter mile, pound another pint, run a quarter mile, and do that 4 times until you get to a mile. And then whoever wins wins. And I think you just drink beer until once you're done too. So
that sounds tough, man. That sounds like
they do marathons. They do like I don't think you drink like a full beer every time, but yeah, they do a bunch of shit like that.
I
It's pretty
imagine
cool.
a bunch of middle-aged men with beer bellies just throwing up every 20 steps. I don't know why. That's like my image of it, but it's probably quite the opposite. It's probably all the in shape people. Like
Yeah, it's
nobody.
probably a lot of. I mean, if you're super slim, you could probably drink more beer than a big old fat guy, especially if you're running like that. So who knows?
I'm sure some people they could probably actually do a full-blown workout at the gym after drinking.
Hey, some people are. Yeah, me neither, for sure.
I'm
Shit,
sure.
I know some
That's
people
just not the
who
way.
right. I know some people who could smoke weed and then go work out. Like
A lot of people do that as like to concentrate on their workout. Oh, he's guilty.
Is that like an often thing or like every now and then, like once in a while, once in a blue moon?
Once in a while. And the thing with it is if you smoke before you work out, you have to break through this fucking threshold. Otherwise, like, because you just want to quit, you want to quit because you're like, fuck, I'm just a little too high for this. And then once you get through it, you just like focus and it's all good. That's how it is for me anyways. I don't know if that is for everybody else.
I know people who do it because they said it just helps them focus better, like on their workout. And like me, if I did that, I'd just go to sleep.
I think I would have a panic attack and start fishing out in the middle of the gym.
Are you one of those paranoid people? Like when you smoke, you get paranoid?
I am. Absolutely. Actually, you know what? I just realized. So I'm just gonna be super open on this pod today. I realized that I have some kind of like sensory thing when I like get an overstimulation of like sound and lights and just everything that like has to do with our senses. Like I actually start having like an anxiety attack almost, right? And I realize that I think that when I smoke weed, the reason why I get like paranoid and start having anxiety attacks is because the weed actually like heightens your senses. And I've always wondered, like, why can't I just smoke weed and have a great time like everybody else and do it every day and just relax? And I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, I never heard this from like a doctor or nothing like that, but I'm just I'm assuming that might be what it is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it makes you conscious of all the fuck ups you're doing. So it makes you think about all this shit that you like, oh fuck, I'm not doing this right. And that kind of gets in your head. Weed's a hell of a drug, man. Weed'll mess with you if you're not, prepared for it, for sure.
Man, what about like smoking weed in the brewery, man? California's got to allow that to happen.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's ever. Honestly, they're gonna fight that till the very end. Like, there's no real mixing weed and beer. I think they're doing they're like where you can actually smoke and drink at a brewery. I don't know that that's gonna happen. I know Colorado's starting to do some weed infused beers and with some oils and stuff, and selling them at dispensaries. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's inevitably, I think most drugs are probably going to be legal. We'll see how that goes. But
probably. I mean, I don't know why they don't just do it and just tax that shit. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, trying to keep people from it, I think makes them desire it more. You know what I mean? And like, it doesn't stop it from being there. Like it's there.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah.
Black market drug trade.
Right.
You know, it's
some
killed
freedom, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the shit was legal at some point. Like, if you go back and look at the history, like they, you know, made heroin illegal when like Chinese railroad workers were using it after
heroin.
Isn't
that like a downer? Like
it's an opiate, yeah. So like these Chinese railroad workers would use this after a day's work, like to like because they're fucking tired and shit, and they chill. And same with cocaine. I think that was like African Americans or Black people used that, and then they made that illegal. And weed was like a Mexican migrant thing, and they made that illegal. Like
I know the story on weed. Actually, it was William Hearst, the guy who has Hearst Castle up in Northern California. Mm-hmm. He owned a bunch of like textiles or like paper company, something like that. Mm-hmm. And hemp was actually about to replace paper and pretty much like put a big hurt on the wood industry in general.
Yeah.
And no, if I'm fucking wrong on this, then sorry. Whatever.
I'm rolling with it.
I'm not gonna correct you.
Yeah. Fine. Well, I'll keep going. But yeah, so he basically, that's like Reefer Madness. They actually, that was where they started to come up and with all this propaganda, and eventually made weed illegal or got weed to be illegal because he was really just trying to make money for his like textile or whatever company. So hemp was going to be the next textile and paper and all this. And it's such a better plant, it grows way faster. It's stronger, all that stuff. So it's interesting, kind of fucked up a little bit that it's oftentimes a selfish reason that stuff gets outlawed in general. That's kind of a fucked up thing.
I've seen some fucking huge marijuana plants before. Like I'm talking like 10 feet tall, thick as fuck. Like,
yep.
Oh damn! I just said a trigger word. Fuck. Damn. Sorry, Estela.
Why are you apologizing to me? I'm not the one who cares. You care more than I do.
I've been trying to be like more like advertiser friendly, but
I'm messing this episode up. I always cuss. I'm sorry.
No, you probably
you're the only one.
You've been really good, actually, man. You've been great.
They don't really care about the F-bomb. Like that.
They don't. All right.
Oh, okay.
It's when I say things like asshole bleaching or like.
But you just are we gonna?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really don't. I'm not really worried about being advertiser friendly.
Me neither.
Because here's why. So
it's just fun to say.
We did have an episode that wasn't advertiser friendly, but once it hit a certain amount of views where they're like, oh shit, like we can make money off of this, they made it monetizable. So it's like, I feel like at some point, all these episodes, regardless of what the fuck we're saying, marijuana, pedophilia, asshole bleaching, all these
now
things.
We're surely fucked, Justin.
It's at some point it's going to be monetized.
All right, fuck it.
Just gained.
Fuck it, just let it all out now.
A certain amount of views. You know what I mean?
Isn't this the problem with advertisement and like them telling us what we can and can't say? They've kind of built this PC for us. Like, it's okay, but they control it. It's their money, they're the ones doing it.
I mean, I'm not relying on it to pay my bills at this point. So,
what about you, Justin? Are you holding back on who you advertise through, or are you going for the full shebang?
What do you mean holding back who I advertise through?
All right, so like let's say there's a podcast like ours, right? And you're like, you know what? I want to be your sponsor. And then we mention your company in the beginning of our podcast. And then immediately after we talk about your company and do your ad placement, Estela comes on and says, asshole, bleached, fuck, cunt, cunnilingus. Are you going to pull from the pod or are you still rolling with it?
I double the pay.
He double all. Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm not messing around, man. Come on, our brand is like like we're flipping off the camera. We're doing all types of stuff. I'm cussing in my videos. Our brand is very very edgy, is what the social media girl I had last year said. She was like, "You guys are edgy." I was like, "Okay."
How did so you say it's Stav and Nail?
So Stave and
excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Trust me. I've heard it all. It's
Shut up,
Stave
Stella.
and Nail.
No.
Yeah, shut up, Stella. So,
he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Yeah, well, no, a lot of people don't know. It's actually like I knew I would get myself into trouble having this name because nobody knows what the hell it is. But basically, a barrel. Everybody knows kind of what a barrel looks like. So if you put a barrel on its end and it's standing kind of upright, the strips that come down the sides, those strips are called staves, and that makes up the outside wall of the barrel.
Oh.
So essentially the name Stave and Nail, stave represents the barrel aging process. And then the nail actually, so once we have filled this thing, once it's been aging for like a year and a half, and this is bourbon barrel beers, this is mixed fermentation sour beers, pretty much anything you put into a barrel you can taste like this. But after, let's say, a year, when we think it's ready to taste, we just drill a hole into the side of it, pull the drill out, put a cup underneath it, grab what's in there, and then we plug that hole with a stainless steel nail. And then every time we want to taste, we just take the nail out and put it back in. So stave is barrel aging. The nail is blending, because that's how we go through the blending process.
I don't know why I feel so incredibly mind blown right now.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It was, yeah, some thought went into it. I actually thought of that name in like 5 minutes in my lawyer's office, because the first name I had wasn't gonna go with trademark bullshit, of course. So it works.
I would ask you what was the first name, but it doesn't matter, because Stave and Nail is the motherfucking brewery that's blowing the doors down and getting all the San Diegans fucking hype.
Hey,
I know next time I'm out there, I know where I'm going.
I know. I would have sent you beer. I didn't know you were in Vegas.
Yeah. I'm in Vegas. Yeah.
I was gonna wear my shirt tonight, but I'm a lazy bitch and I didn't fold my laundry, so it's in a pile somewhere.
Oh, mine too.
I've actually worn it on this podcast a couple of times. Just FYI.
I feel like I've seen that shirt. Yeah, I think you've actually spoke about the brewery a few times on the podcast.
I went like this and like showed it off.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I rep Stave. I might not do it out loud like all over social media all the time, but I've definitely thrown it out there.
Yeah. That's been a cool.
I'm a real one.
I appreciate that. That's been a cool thing, is just like the support. Not only, I mean, at first it was like all friends and family, but now it's like, the community is actually starting to give us some real love, and gives me good hope for the future, for sure.
It feels like that, like your local hometown, like I'm gonna ride for this place, like this is our spot. Like I feel like San Marcos is just like, people are territorial.
Yeah.
Just like, and so like, because you're there and that's who that community is, I want to say we are, because I was like raised there, but like that it's very like a territorial place, and the way that the older cats that like have lived there forever, like that's San Marcos. Like that's like, you know what I mean? Like, even though I hate when they fucking call it that. Like, it's
San Marcos.
San Marcos.
Come on, idiots. Yeah, no, that's honestly, I would rather have a small group of like super devoted, like, loyal customers than a larger group of people who are like, okay, well, what's the next brewery that's hot? Like when we really have like, we've got solid followers who are constantly like reposting shit, who are constantly coming into the tasting room, who are, just there and wish, we're talking about our plans for the future. And they're just like genuinely like, oh my gosh, I wish you guys the most luck. And it's like, okay, that's, that feels like wholesome and cool, to have built a fan base or a customer base like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like when you do something that you really have a passion in, that you're passionate about or whatever, I feel like it's a guaranteed win. And at some point, the results that you want from that particular business or whatever it is that you're doing, like it's just like guaranteed to happen. It's just the consistency that really determines what it's going to become.
100%, and consistency. That's the key to everything. I mean, business is hard too, so you have to be passionate about business in general. You know, like if you like my job, like everybody else on my team, they don't have to worry about all the shit I have to worry about. You know, they're not paying the taxes. They're not, you know, working on QuickBooks. They don't have to, you know, honestly, like the amount of fucking checks I write, it's absurd. And, you know, it's a tough business because there's a lot of cost to it. So you have to be passionate and like want to make that work. But like consistency is so hard because it's like, it's tiring. You get frustrated, you get down on yourself, and like you let that get to you, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. You have to keep your mind straight. I try not to drink a whole bunch, you know, it's hard. I'm actually on like a couple of days of not drinking this week.
I was gonna ask
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I gotta take a little break because I've got a lot of shit that I need to get done in this next like month or so. So I need to keep a clear head. So, but yeah, you have to, you know, you can't just be a wild fucking a crazy business owner who's like constantly fucked up, and that's somebody who's not going to be successful. That's not consistent. Yeah,
it's
no
not
way.
Sustainable. Like,
no.
I was gonna ask you about the like drug dealers shouldn't do their own stash. Like, do you? I mean, you have to drink your own stash, right? Because you have to.
Oh yeah. No. And I drink beer. You know what? Beer is actually a post-workout drink. So
it's your post-workout drink.
Oh, it's fantastic. Awesome. Yeah, because sugar. It like your body needs that stuff at that time. So that's glad. Like, you know, you could, yeah.
I'm so glad you said that, man, because you just made me feel so much better because I've done that so many times and I always get made fun of. They're like, really? You just went to the gym and then you just got a 6-pack? Like, it's like my protein drink.
Yeah, okay, but maybe not 6 beers, just one probably. Oh, okay. I don't know.
I didn't drink 6 beers.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you shouldn't drink Gatorade all day, or you shouldn't really even drink Gatorade until you are depleted enough to need Gatorade. Gatorade is fine if you just ran, you know, a few miles or something. Beer is also the same. So basically kind of the same things in there, carbohydrates, sugar, that sort of thing. Your body just kind of needs those as fuel to get. So yeah, I'll drink a beer after then. Obviously we're tasting. I do a lot of blending, so I'm probably doing blendings at least every other week. And that, you know, that's a solid couple of hours of just small sampling. Drink a lot of the seltzer. I drank too much seltzer this past weekend. That's why I'm taking a little break.
Is this one going to be available this summer?
Yeah, for sure. We're actually, so we've got pink guava, we've got passion fruit, and then I think we're doing a passion fruit orange guava as well, which we did a little pilot of, and it tastes really good.
Those are my favorite flavors. And I'm trying to have a hot girl summer, so I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need me some of these Stave seltzers.
Is it a hot girl summer also, coming up?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to have a summer.
I'm on project Get It Right, Get It Tight right now. I told Instagram a couple of weeks ago it's about to be over for these hoes because they just opened up my gym. And then I had Alicia message me. She's like, yes, that's what I'm going to tell people in August. Like, it's about to be over for you hoes. I'm like, yep, that's what it is, man. It's that's over. Good. But, you know.
Just make sure you have a Stave and Nail beer after the gym because that's the new post-workout drink right there.
Yes,
and I got it on record, everybody, from an actual brewmaster telling you all that I've been right all fucking along. I'll drop on that one.
He likes his sound effects.
I love the sound effects. Yeah, appreciate it.
I like it.
Well, Justin, man, this is fucking awesome, man. We definitely appreciate you coming on the SideFriend Slide Thru and sharing Stave and Nail with us and letting everybody know what's popping with your brewery over there in San Marcos.
Can people order your beer like online or?
Yeah, we've been so fucking busy lately that we haven't had enough beer to be selling online, and it kind of makes it
That's not a bad problem, right?
logistically difficult. They will be soon though. We're gonna redrop our web shop probably in about a month and a half. But yeah, the best way, just staveandnailbeer.com. Check us out on Instagram at Stave and Nail Beer. See our openings. You got to come try our food, try our beer, all that stuff. It's good.
Yes.
Burgers and beer, anybody?
Burgers and beer. We do an Autobata burger. It's out of this world.
Autobata burger? Hold on, we got to talk about that real quick. Like, the Autobata burger. So it's like you like slice it off of the little spinning rack.
Yeah, basically. I mean, we kind of cook it differently. We make it in a little. I put it in a little convection oven, but it is stacked like that, and then we kind of just slice down the side, a little pineapple on top. But yeah, that on top of a Angus patty and some guacamole, and it's fire.
Dude, who came up with that? Was that your creation right there?
Most of them, yeah. I mean, we're doing all types of food, man. We do chicken and waffles on brunch.
That food looks fire as fuck. Like I was there
I'm missing out big time.
Sunday, but I wasn't hungry. But
yeah, our chicken and waffles now. I mean, we've been doubling up the chicken portion every opening, and we're selling out like in less and less time. It's kind of crazy. Everybody's going nuts over the chicken and waffles. But yeah, we're messing around with all types of stuff. Most of them are like my ideas, and then we'll kind of all like look through recipes. And honestly, I'm not like, I'll be completely open with you guys. All this cooking stuff, like I worked in restaurants. I wasn't a chef, like I was a host and a bartender and a manager and like all the front of house stuff. I was a line cook for like 6 months. I didn't know how to fucking cook. We're looking this shit up on Google and trying to find like good recipes and trying them out. And if they work, they work. So you gotta hustle. You gotta try. You're not gonna do anything unless you're actually putting a little effort into it, and don't be scared to mess up.
It's actually really smart of you to add the food, and then to add like the special twist that you're doing to the food and everything. And you're like really diving into like two different markets, because you're getting the beer enthusiasts, and then like foodies. Like there's a foodie market, and that's like a real thing. Like people love going to the popular food spots, and especially when like the food is tricked out in special ways, and not just like your average everyday burger. Like, look, I'm going to Stave and Nail today. Like, oh, you're going to get some beer? Yeah, I'm going to get some beer. But man, that burger with the Autobata on top, like that's the one. And then they go and look at the Instagram or whatever, and they see the food, and they see the drizzling barbecue coming down the side or whatever. Like, dude, like just thinking about it, like my mouth is watering.
It was honestly a revelation when I started getting the feedback on the food. I was kind of like, oh shit. Like I did it because California sucks, and they enforce that if you want to stay open, number one, you're outdoors, which was fine for us because they gave us this patio space and we made it all sick outside. But if you want to stay open, you have to have food. So I was like, I paid for a food truck for the first I think I did 2 weekends, and I paid like the first weekend was like $900. So like we had to ring it in through our POS, and then so I could see exactly how much they sold. And the first weekend, it was like in 2 days, it was like $900 in sales. The next weekend was like $1,400 in sales that this food truck was making. And I was like, what the fuck? Like
this burger?
I can make that money.
Say it again.
Who said what?
No. I was talking to you, Jimmy.
Oh! I said like just the burger was bringing in all those sales.
That's like a food truck. This is a
those were food trucks that we were paying. So I was paying. I was paying other people, and I just realized like, oh man. And then that kind of leads in. And you guys mind if I talk about the new space at all?
No. Let's talk about it.
Time, man.
Yeah,
I'll go into it. So yeah, that kind of, we always wanted to do food. I always thought, and once I came up with the name Stave and Nail, I remember this conversation with my brother. My brother was like, the fuck? Like, that's so dumb. Or like, nobody's going to know what that is. He actually was like, what's a stave? And I was like, bro, you've been brewing for 2 years professionally, and you are asking me what a fucking stave is. Anyway, that's a story for another time. when normal people ask me what a stave is, I give them, I don't give my brother any slack. But he thought the name was dumb. I was like, okay, picture this: Stave and Nail as like a nice fancy-ish brew pub with good food and beer. So we kind of had that on the back burner the whole time, and then it kind of just worked out, So we got to this point. I saw how much money the food trucks were making. I said, okay, fuck it, let's do this. We wanted to kind of try this out anyways. I ended up, out of my pocket, just buying $5,000 worth of equipment. We started this catering company, got everything set up, and it was just like a slow steamroll. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now you're rolling. Now we kind of understand the kitchen efficiencies, food costing. Like now we're kind of playing. Okay, you have to get in the game to understand how to do a restaurant properly, because it's very difficult. And but yeah, that kind of brings me to, we're working now on this brew pub model. So we're going to go with a full kitchen. We're actually going to get another license and do a full bar. I've got so we're going to do a full cocktail program. We'll have our barrel cellar there. We're going to have a big brew house, which will be nice because I miss having all the toys, like I said earlier. And we're gonna hit the ground running. So
yeah,
I'm fucking excited.
I'm excited.
I gotta call it though, man. Like, I know that you said that you're not coming to Vegas ever, but like, I just had this vision in my head. We were talking about Stave and Nail, the pub and brewery, dude. Like, I could see it on the Las Vegas Strip, just like just a big ass pub brewery spot with the food and everything, and just people going crazy about it, man. And just on the strip though, like right in the center of the strip, man. I just had this vision.
Hey, I won't say no. I'll never say never. I'll never say never. That's for sure.
And then when I go there and I get one of the Auto Bada burgers and I see you come out the back, I'm gonna say, you motherfucker, I fucking told you so.
I told you. All right, that's fair. That's fair. Either way, I'll probably be in Vegas. Maybe we can meet at that strip club at the Steaks.
Oh, yes,
done. Say no more. I'm already Steaks there mentally.
Little bonding.
Oh yeah.
Nah, that's how men bond, Stella. We go to strip clubs, food, we drink beer, we eat fucking steaks and
watch some sports,
blackjack, motorboat women with big ass fake double D titties. No, I'm just playing, baby. If you're watching this,
he's not watching. It's fine.
She knows this guy.
What?
She knows who she married.
Yeah, she does. She does. But
I mean, she pops a titty out every once in a while he's podcasting.
That's became like a thing, Justin. Like in the middle of podcasting, she'll open the door randomly, like every other episode, and she'll pop some titties out for me.
That is awesome. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Trying to distract you?
I think she's trying to motivate me actually. And
it's working.
It's fucking working.
That's actually super sweet. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
She sounds like a nice lady.
Yeah. Gotta spice up the relationship,
100%.
And what other way can a woman show like her support than to just pop titties out randomly? I mean, that's ladies. Absolutely. Take notes, because guys like random titties. They just do.
Yeah.
That's why nudes exist. That's why guys always request nudes from their chick. They're like, send me some nudes because I'm at work busting my ass and I like random titties.
That's awesome. It's all motivation. It's all about motivation.
And so, ladies listening to this right now, if you want to motivate Justin over here, all you got to do is go to Stave and Nail in San Marcos and go pop some titties out. Pop those titties out, girl. Yeah. Just man, thank you so much for coming to the slide through, Justin. Stave and Nail. That's the spot.
Thank you, guys.
We're just gonna vibe out. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the pod. We'll holler at y'all next episode.
Don't hang up, Justin.
Something tells me Justin's coming back on the SideFriend Slide Thru. Ain't that right, Justin?
I think so.
When the space is open.
All right, y'all. We'll holler at you. Justin, don't go nowhere.
All right.
SideFriend Slide